to help others with my Unexpected Moments book to know they're not alone in any of their situations or difficulties that they're dealing with, and that God's always with them if they have faith and they believe, because He doesn't put us through anything that we can't handle. Um, and we go through things for a reason, for learning, for helping others.
That's so good,
Um,
Daisy.
there's always a reason behind that.
Yeah. Hello, this is Andrea from OurDayDream, back again with another awesome chat. This week we have Daisy Paige. She is the author of Unexpected Moments. The link will be in the description below for the chat that we had concerning that book. Today we're here to talk about Beyond Heaven's Gate, which is her new book. So without further ado and great pleasure, here is the beautiful Daisy Paige. Daisy!
Hey, Andrea, I've been so excited to come back and talk with you.
I'm so proud of you.
2 weeks in a year.
You've done so much in the past year.
I have. It's been hard, but I've accomplished it. So yeah, I've patted myself on the back a few times.
You should. As you should. I'm gonna get into your book in a little bit, but what I really wanted to touch base on was your book Unexpected Moments. And so we did chat before, and that is on the OurDayDream show, Unexpected Moments. But your life has been full of unexpected moments, and so what I really want to talk about is your resilience with all of the unexpected moments. You find out that you have a terminal illness called MSA. And so I really wanted to really touch base on, finding out that information that you are going to have a terminal illness, and the things that happen inside of you and finding that out. Because we can only imagine, everybody could say it would never happen to me, or it hasn't happened to me, but to really put ourselves in, that place of where you find out that type of information.
Exactly. And I know I've declined since I saw you last.
You're beautiful.
You're beautiful. And I decline more eating every day. I can see that happening. I can feel that happening. And I think if my son wasn't coming home next month to live with me, that I wouldn't be here. But I'm just fighting so that he can be here to live with me.
Aww.
I haven't seen him but twice in 3 years.
For those who don't know, he's in the military or the Army or what?
Yeah, he's in the Air Force.
Air Force. Yeah.
And so, yeah, God's gonna bring him home to me. He got stationed an hour and a half from me. He got to write 2 places that he wanted to go. And they put a place in for him. And they drew it out of a hat. And they just happened to draw the one that's an hour and a half away from me.
Oh, what a blessing.
So I know that God had a hand in that.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't come home to visit me because of COVID. He had COVID 4 times. And when he didn't have COVID, we were on such alert with all the military things going on in the world. and I just feel that he has been kept from me, but
Yeah,
he's coming home.
such a blessing.
And these are happy tears, by the way.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, I've probably seen him 3 times in 5 years.
Wow.
So I told him last night when we were on the phone, I said, I cannot wait to get a big bear hug from you. Because he's 6'5", and
Aw.
he's a really big guy. So I guess instead of me going everywhere in the house in my wheelchair, you can just carry me, can't you? He said, yeah. It's going to be nice to have some extra help around the house to help my husband. He's been amazing. Um, I know he gets frustrated because he has to do things for me every day, all day. I do have 2 caretakers that come on Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So he does get a little break to go grocery shopping or to run errands or to do yard work or things that have to be done that he can't if he's taking care of me.
Right. I imagine too, staying busy and doing stuff like that might help him a little bit too. Um, Rather than, stewing on the situation, it's keeping his hands busy, his mind.
Yeah, um, my cousin asked him the other day to go golfing with her husband and um her dad. He said, "No, I don't enjoy fun things anymore."
Aw.
She said, "Why not?" And he said, "'Cause she can't. You got company in your chair."
Yeah, I just actually tagged you on a post on Facebook because Princess is up here on my table and she so I took a picture. I said she's ready to talk to you, Daisy.
Oh, I didn't see it. I was trying to get my laptop to work.
Yeah, when you get off of here, you'll see it. But she was up here like ready to go. She was ready to talk to you.
That is funny.
Yeah. But yeah, just to go back to like that moment when you got that diagnosis, like what went through your mind, of your future at that point?
It didn't really hit me that I was terminal. I was just kind of numb to the idea because I had had so many diagnoses in the past. So I guess I kind of thought, no, this can't be the one either. But by the time we got to go to pick up my husband after the doctor, he had already looked it up and he was just frantic, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? He said, you only have 5 to 7 years to live. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, have you not read about MSA? And I said, no, I really haven't had a chance. Um, so then he said, well, you need to read it. And I read it. And it was 5 to 7 years from onset of symptoms, which my symptoms started in 2018. So I'm right about 5 years now.
And you've had a heck of a year. Um, you've been in and out of the hospital a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're coming up on your fifth year, and so everybody knows you wrote 2 books. 2 books in 1 year, Daisy. That's incredible.
It's God wanted me to. It's things that God wanted me to share with the world. I would not have written one book if it weren't for Kirk Cameron. he really motivated me and inspired me, which he says I inspired him. I kind of thought, what? No. But he doesn't know about the second book. I haven't been able to get in touch with him, so I hope he reads it. But Beyond Heaven's Gates is quite different than Unexpected Moments. However, it is a sequel of sorts. It starts off with visions and dreams that God's given me of heaven. And oh my gosh, Andrea, it is beautiful. So indescribable of things I've seen. And then it goes into Unexpected Moments, continues living with MSA. In both books, I'm going to do 10% donation of proceeds to MSA defeat MSA.org for the research to help find a cure. I just kept every podcast because I had done like 52 podcasts,
Yes, you've been busy.
and so everybody kept saying you need to do another one. You should write another one. So finally, I thought that's God telling me I need to write another one.
Yeah,
That He wants me to share those visions of heaven with non-believers so that they know there is everlasting life and a wonderful, glorious place after this one.
yeah. I think that even your visions, I think a lot of people like that God has given these visions to that seem rather similar in a sense. They all have their
Yeah.
different views, but at the same time, it's really beautiful and light.
There's one that I'll tell you all about. I'm in this room and it's kind of a circular room. And I can tell that it's outside because I see the clouds around me, around the building. But there's hundreds of thousands of people in this room. And it has marble, just like 1 inch steps that go down. So I'm trying to get down to the center because I want to see what everybody's looking at. And everybody just kept shoving me back, shoving me back. So I made my way. I walked around the room and I counted. There was 20 thrones. Um, and crowns on each head that had different color. Everybody had one solid color, but they were all different colors. And so I went on a second time and I got 20 again. And I said, I noticed on each of the throne, on the back of the thrones, there was an attribute. And only three I could read or that I could remember were empathy, courage, and inspiration.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
And they were purple, blue, and yellow. The purple was on empathy, the yellow was on courage, and it was kind of like an asphalt. I think this is how you pronounce it. Blue color. And I shared that with my Christian counselor. She said, those are your attributes. Like, what? She said, yes. God's telling you that you're empathetic and you're an inspiration and you have a lot of courage. I didn't believe it at first, but someone else told me the exact same thing.
Oh, you have to know it. I think about it. I know I'm sure that anybody else that was watching this, if we were diagnosed and we were in the place where you are. Because like through this process of you writing the books, your husband was taking care of you. And so if we think about like what would we do in your situation? I don't know. I don't know if I would listen to God and do 50 podcasts and write these books. You're always doing, and it's inspiring. It's inspiring. It's brave.
Well, I want to help others with my Unexpected Moments book to know they're not alone in any of their situations or difficulties that they're dealing with, and that God's always with them if they have faith and they believe, because He doesn't put us through anything that we can't handle. Um, and we go through things for a reason, for learning, for helping others.
It's so good,
Um,
Daisy.
there's always a reason behind that.
Yeah.
And then for Beyond Heaven's Gates, it was because I wanted to, um, to try to help Kirk Cameron, for example, bring back God into this world because they're kicking him out,
Yeah.
and it's not right. It's not right at all. But in the Bible, it does say at the end of days that children, will turn against their parents, and that evil is going to prevail over good. And all those things in the Bible are they're being seen.
Yeah. I
I
know
have a
that's
daughter.
true. I know that's true in my household, Daisy. My kids don't listen.
I have a daughter, the one that did my cover for Unexpected Moments.
Yeah.
Me and her were so close. Do you know that we haven't spoken since July?
Aw.
She can't see me like this
It
because
hurts her.
in her way, she builds a wall up of anger. If she doesn't see it, it's not there. But unexpected, I mean, Beyond Heaven's Gates is only 70 or 87 pages. So you gotta read the other book
Yeah.
first because it is a continuance. But I love this book. It turned out so much better than I ever thought it would.
It's so pretty.
Because I didn't have my daughter do this one. I was very worried about the cover.
Yeah. What keeps you going whenever you're tired or you're in pain and you don't really want, like, you just want to be like not do anything? What motivates you to keep persevering, keep doing the work that you're doing before you leave?
It's a good question. I mean, there's days that I want to throw in the towel, and then I have a devotion of the day that I do. And it seems like it's always the devotion I need that 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 keeps me going. It's my son and my other daughter. I may have lost one child, but I still have two. And I'm hopeful and I pray that my daughter that I haven't seen since July will come back around and know how much she means to me. A lot of our relationship issues are in Beyond Heaven's Gates. So I put that in there because I want people to know how much it hurts to close your parents out, especially if they have a terminal illness, because a lot of people do that. That they don't have anything to do with their parents. Once they're terminal, they'll put them in a nursing home, so they don't have to deal with them.
Yeah.
kind of abandon them, and that's not right.
Mm-mm.
It it really hurts us badly.
Yeah. I lost my mom at 17, and she had called me the night before, and she never ever called me whenever I stayed at my grandmother's house. Um but that night she did, and I left the house angry and went to stay with my grandmother, and I was upset with her because she didn't know me, because she never really tried to know who I was or my values that I have and things like that. And so the next morning she was gone.
Oh,
So, but that night before when she called me, she said, "I love you." And I just hung up on her. So,
oh,
yeah, so, and then the next morning she was gone. And so it's like, I don't understand. And I try to tell my kids that oftentimes when they get upset with me and stuff. I'm like, you don't understand if somebody, could just be gone tomorrow. Um, like you just don't know if that's gonna happen. And so I'll never understand why, you know, people can't just put things to the side and just understand like your family. Like that's so, it's powerful.
my my kids were raised by told them don't don't leave mad, don't go to bed mad, okay? My dad left mad, and my mom was in a car accident and she died. And he never got over that. He always felt guilty, but he always told us, don't leave mad, don't
Yeah,
leave the house mad, don't go to bed mad, because you never know if you'll see that
you never
person
know.
again.
Yep, you never know. And then you just sit there like, what if, what if? And so I pray with you, Daisy, that she doesn't have to attend to that, you know, later on in life. Like, what if I, would have just went over and seen mom? So
That is my hopes. My birthday was in August, and they had a surprise party for me. And she didn't come to that, and she did text me and tell me happy birthday, and say that it was raining really hard, and she just couldn't. She didn't want to drive in the rain. And that was it. I was like,
I love how that you say God won't give you more than you can handle. Because you'll see a lot of healthy people that'll say that that's not true, that God will give you more than you can handle. But what's so inspiring about you saying it, Daisy, is that you're diagnosed with MSA and actively declining, and you're saying God won't give you more than you can handle. And so, um, what do you say to the people that believe otherwise, that believe that God will give you too much that you can't handle?
I believed it for a while, but now I know that I went through the things I did to make me strong.
Yeah,
Because you need to be strong to face MSA. It's very difficult and hard, painful. But I know I'm strong now. If I wouldn't have gone through the things that I did, I don't think I would be here today. I would have gave up a long time ago. So that's what I say. You may not believe it, but it's true.
it's so inspiring.
It it does. I'm not to say that there's not times that I do want to give up, and I think, gosh, why can't Texas have assisted suicide? I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I just want to go. But I just don't. I want to see my son first. After I see my son, I want to go to sleep one night. and just not wake up. I want it to be peaceful.
Yeah. I've heard so much over the past year because I knew that you were working hard with Beyond Heaven's Gates, and I'm just like, Lord, let her put out the book. Let her put out the book. Like, don't take her before she's able to put out the book. And so the book is out and it's for sale, and I'm grateful.
Yeah, it was kind of exciting that Unexpected Moments was published or released on March 7th of 2022. And then it's Beyond Heaven's Gates was released on March 5th, 2023. So it's like, wow, they're 2 days shy of a year apart, that's how close it was. And the day that's in between would have been my mom's death anniversary. She died on March 6th.
Oh,
And my friend that helps me, that I know if it wasn't for her when I lived in New York, I wouldn't have made it. When I got my skull fractured, and I stayed awake consciously until I saw her get there. And once I knew that she was there, I knew my kids would be safe and out of danger. I blacked out and I didn't wake up for 2 days. And when I did, she was there with me. She, unfortunately, she passed away on March 10th. So she didn't get a chance to read the book.
this year?
Yeah, March 10th of
Um,
2022. And her birthday was March 13th. So it really hurt me because we always call each other at exciting times. Like, she knew I was writing a book. I call her. So I'm saying, this might be published on your birthday. But she didn't call me back for a while. And I wondered. And then I had to find out by a message that she had gone. She had post issues with COVID. She
oh,
had an
wow.
aneurysm that went to her brain. Blood clot that went to her brain, so she passed away.
That's scary.
And you know what? It's really kind of awesome in a way. 'Cause we always talked about when we grow old, our husbands were gonna go before us, and we were gonna live together, and we were gonna sit on our front porch in our rocking chairs and rock and drink coffee. I say now she's keeping my rocking chair warm for me.
Oh, because it is your belief system that we are gonna meet again.
Yeah. And I saw her in one of my visions, and I said, when my book came out, she said, I know, and it's absolutely wonderful. She just said she told me she read it. So it's gorgeous. I truly believe now the kinder that you are here on this earth to people and doing things to help people, the, the bigger and the better it is for you in heaven. I did a podcast the other day, and I said that. The guy said, yeah, people's going to be walking down the road in heaven and say, and there's that Daisy Paige. It's a castle. I said, oh, you're too sweet.
I've thought about that, and I don't know if you have too. Is like you go through so much in life, and especially whenever it seemed like I was serving God, it still felt like things were like really hard and difficult. And I thought, well, God, like I'm doing all this stuff. Like, can you cut me some slack down here? I'm trying the best that I can. And many people have come up to me and just like, the reward is when you go to heaven. Like
You're
sometimes you don't
gonna
get the reward down here, but you'll get it
you get
whenever.
it up there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of helps me in a way because I feel like I was cheated out of life here.
Yeah.
And you can, because you can experience the same that I did. Um, Not really having a family. I always wanted a family. Um, Working from paycheck to paycheck, not being able to get the things that we need or we want. Car breaking down on you all the time.
Yeah.
Um, just the little things like that where you feel like, gosh, it's always one thing after another.
Yeah.
It's never gonna end. Well, it is gonna end. It's gonna end one day in heaven.
That
God's
is
gonna
so
see
great.
to that.
Yeah, because it does. It'll feel like that sometimes. Like, it's like never ending. It's always something else. And it's like, can I get some slack here? Like I'm doing the best I can. And uh yeah, I mean, that's a beautiful way to look at it. It's like, all these trials and stuff, they are gonna come to an end. They're not
Yep,
forever. This too will pass,
it
without a
will.
doubt.
And I've seen Jesus. I haven't seen his face, his full face, but I've seen his profile. In one of my visions, he was reading. It was under this beautiful tree, sitting on a big boulder, and he was reading to these little kids. They were sitting on boulders around him under this tree. He had a couple sitting in his lap, and I couldn't hear what he was saying, but I could tell these children were really into whatever it was he was reading. So I was walking up. I was like, I'm gonna go sit on a boulder over there and see it, so I can listen to what he has to say. And then, bam! I ran into this invisible wall. It's like I couldn't make it through there. So I was like, man, I really wanted to see his face and hear what he had to say. So I turned around and I went the other way, and I saw the golden shores. And I saw my dad and a few more family members on a boat fishing out there. And I said, house screaming, hey, hey. But none of them could hear me. So I turned around and went back on this golden path that I came in on and went through a beautiful garden. I mean, it had the most beautiful flowers that I've ever seen. And when I came back out of my closet, you know, I don't remember waking up. I just remember walking out of my closet, but I can't walk either.
Like,
So it's like,
yeah, like the secret garden too.
yeah, I, I can't walk. But it was just weird, very strange. But I love being up there because I can walk and I can run and I can do things that I can't do here on Earth. So I really don't really want to give all of them away, but those stories I would love to share. They're short stories, but they're exciting stories.
I've been going into meditation every morning after I read a chapter in the Bible. I've been doing this for a couple weeks now because really just got tired of allowing my mind to do whatever it wanted to do. So I started spending like more time and being structured with God. And so I've been going in these meditations every morning. And, now that you say that, It's like I always like it starts out I'm sitting by the ocean and I say Jesus. And then Jesus comes over and sits and he talks with me. But he says like this just this amazing stuff that my mind could never ever think up in a million years. It's just like really profound stuff. And but it is true. Like I never really see his face. I just see his
No,
I just see his outline and I know it's him because of the words that he's saying to me. It's not me. Yeah.
have you seen his profile?
Yeah. It's like, well, he's got a gown and then he does have darker hair, but I it's just like glimpses. Do you know what I mean? It's like glimpses from
Yep.
far away. Um,
When I saw him, he had on this beautiful, like white gown
mhm.
and a blue and red scarf or cloth wrapped around him. And a priest showed me a picture, said, or picked out his business card and handed it to me. And he said, "Is it like this?" Oh my gosh, it was just like the picture on his card. It was identical. It's like, yeah, that's Jesus.
Yeah.
But I want to tell you, Monday had this really weird visit. I, ha- I don't know if you remember, but I went to a healing. I think I talked to you, or maybe it was before you. I went, started to convert to Catholic from Baptist, but I was going to keep my Baptist religion as well because I have a terminal condition. You can do that. But I went to this healing and it worked for a while, about 2 weeks. I went in a walker and a wheelchair, and I came out running, dancing,
That's awesome. What
jumping
kind
up
of
and
church was it again?
I'm sorry,
What kind of church was it again?
it was Catholic.
Oh, interesting.
And so one of the healers, and this is true, he called me. He said, "Can I come and visit you? I feel that God has told me I need to come and see you." And I said, "Yes, you sure can. I would love that." So he came by and he held my hands. He prayed for me. He said, "God wants you to forgive." Or he said, asked me, "Is there anybody that you need to forgive?" And I said, "No, I've forgiven them all." And he said, "Hmm." Closed his eyes and he was holding my hands. He's like, "Hmm." He's like, "Is there a doctor that you need to forgive?" And I don't know if you heard one of the times that I was in the hospital, I was bleeding internally. I had a problem with a suprapubic catheter. This was recently.
Mm-mm.
Almost getting a suprapubic catheter because I lost the use of my bladder. My muscles and nerves are just dead. So instead of having the Foley catheter, I wanted the suprapubic catheter that's surgically inserted. And I got one, and I went to get my catheter changed out. You go like once a month, but the very first time, the doctor that put it in has to be the one to do the change. And she let her nurse do it instead of her. And she missed my bladder. And she sent me home. I was drinking and I couldn't relieve myself, but it wasn't coming out into the catheter bag. I was feeling bloated. I told my husband to take me to urgent care. They took me to a CAT scan and saw that she had missed the bladder. Well, they had someone that was experienced in pubic catheters. So he went to put it in. But by the time he did, see, you only have so long, or the hole in the bladder closes really. So it like closes really quickly.
Hmm.
So by the time he was trying to put it in, also during the surgery, they put like a little I call it a hammock. It's like a wall between your bladder and your abdomen wall to keep the urine from going anywhere. And when he tried to put one in, it went through that wall or that hammock. So I had internal blood bleeding and I had a UTI. So I had infected urine going throughout my body. And they rushed me to the hospital. And they said if I would have waited around much longer, I would have become septic. But I was you look at the healer. I said, "Yeah, there's a doctor I need to forgive." He said, "A Doctor Leanne," and I was like,
Wow.
"That's her first name, you know." It's like, wow, yeah, it gave me chills up the back of my neck, and I was like, "Yeah, I guess I better forgive her." I don't think I've really forgiven her, so yeah, I'll forgive her. He did a healing prayer on me, and I have noticed no change. He said sometimes they're called um late healings where you get healed later. Last time I got healed right away. It was so
Mhm.
weird being wheeled into a wheelchair to the priest's home and then walking out to get into the vehicle. Everybody was cheering. I actually have a video of that healing. I'll have to send that to you.
Yeah, maybe I can put it on this podcast if you wouldn't care.
I wouldn't care. It was
Yeah.
really, really, really neat. And this time no different. But I believe there is healing. May not be here on earth. It may not be what others expect. Like my husband, he's mad at God, because he prayed for his mom to be healed, and she had brain and lung cancer, and she passed away. I said, honey, she is healed.
Right.
She has no issues. She's happy. She's dancing. She's in no pain. She's healed. She's she's fine. But his healing, he may not want it to be here, but he will give you everlasting healing in an everlasting world.
I truly believe that when we get to heaven, there's going to be a lot of dancing. I
I
just
do
believe
too.
it.
I do
I
too.
believe it because it's like so many times I would go into like prayer with God and or with Jesus, and I would be like completely devastated in that moment and feel broken. And next thing you know, he's dancing with me. Just
That's neat.
yeah. So I'm just like, I think that heaven's going to be full of dancing.
Yes. There's a lot of music up there, so that's why I don't understand why the Baptists and the Methodists don't dance. The Catholics dance.
Do they? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
their relationship with God, and in a sense, I feel like that they're just closer. And I always wanted that.
I was always drawn to that simply because I would like to go to church anytime I feel like it. Like I don't want to have to wait till Wednesday or Sunday.
Right.
I want to just be able to go whenever I want to go, like every day if I need to.
Yep. They're pretty open with their services,
Hmm.
and they do a lot of visiting. and just going around. To me, at first I was worried that he was coming to like kind of give me less rights or something. I was like, oh
Mhm.
boy, I'm not ready yet. But yeah, God's got big plans for all of us if you just have faith.
Amen. Amen. Uh, faith without works is dead. Sometimes we gotta, keep trying to convince ourselves that we need to have faith, but I don't know. I think it's just acceptance is the ultimate faith, you know, instead of trying to convince yourself that things are going to work out or convince yourself that things are going to get better. Instead, it's like, I'm just going to accept that, I'm here in this with God. Um, and I find that that's like that place where I can be at peace, and no matter what situation I'm in, is just that understand, like accepting, like this is where I'm at and God's there with me.
That's right. And when there are things going wrong or happening, just give it to Him.
Mm,
That's what He tells you to do. And the Catholics believe that we have our own struggles, and we carry our own crosses. But if we ask God to help us, He'll carry our cross for us.
that's so good.
Yeah, I like that saying. And he and also learns, like with the pain that I have, sometimes it's excruciating pain. Like they say, tell me your pain on a level of 1 to 10. I mean, I say 12, 14, there's no 10, 1 to 10. Um, but did you know that, Lord, please take a part of my pain to help my sister become closer to God. I
Oh
give
wow,
you
that's so good.
some of my pain.
Wow.
So it's like a give something to receive something.
Wow.
And the priest told me you can give your pain for something else.
A blessing.
And so I've I've done that at night sometime, when I go to bed and I'm really, really hurting. I've given up some of that pain so that my husband will be closer to God. I do that a lot because he is far, far from God. So I try to make that a habit now when I go to bed. To- I give you some of my pain, take
So
some of my
good.
pain, and help Eugene to have a relationship with you.
You think about like the sacrifice that Jesus made. So you think about like that it was a sacrifice for us. And so like that's kind of like the
Yeah,
same concept is like you're going through this excruciating pain as a sacrifice for others to be blessed. It's so good.
it made sense and it made me see my way through that because I was like, why would you put anybody through this pain? And I know that God's not putting this on me now too, because at first I blamed him. I said, why do I have to go through this? But it's not God that's giving me this pain. He doesn't
Mm,
give people cancer. He doesn't give people pain. He
no,
takes people's cancer away. He takes people's pain away.
yeah. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I think that a lot of uh health issues come from stress, which is ultimately from Satan. It's the bad things that happen to us that stress us out and mess up our immunity.
You're gonna like my book on Heaven's Gates, Beyond Heaven's Gates. You've really got to read that unexpected moment so
I
you can
will.
get to it, because in there, a lot of people are really gonna think Daisy Paige is crazy. She's lost her mind.
I mean,
But
if we're following God, I think a lot of people are just gonna think we're crazy just in that aspect alone. It's definitely not society acceptable to do outlandish stuff like God asks us to do. So
I've seen the devil and I've had a physical um battle with him. So that's all I'm gonna say. And the one that saves, except for the one that saves me, is Michael the Archangel.
it's so good. Yeah,
Because he is a warrior. He's the warrior beside God, and he protects us.
yeah.
My friend's name is Michael. And when I saw him that night, he said, go get your weapon. There's going to be a battle here at midnight. The first thing I grabbed was my Bible. No
Oh,
thoughts about it. I passed by knives, I passed meat cleavers, but I grabbed my Bible.
so good. That's so
It's like,
good. I think once you start opening up your mind to like, we're in a spiritual realm, that it's easy for you to gain a grander understanding than whenever you just think that you're living in a physical world. It's like it's easier for you to just see like there's a battle happening and I'm just like in the midst of it, but it's like that protection of God too. So it's just understanding like I'm with God in this, but it's a spiritual realm, right? Like there's things happening, like you speak about a lot. It's like the angels are all around us.
yes.
Well, I thank you for joining me again and blessing me with your presence and inspiring me as always.
And I thank you so much, Andrea, for having me back. It's been a pleasure. It's always nice to talk to you.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that more often.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll be reaching
I
out.
would
Go
love
ahead.
to you have Brooke and I on together.
Yeah, maybe I
Yeah.
could do that. I'll check into that.
Okay. She's such a sweetheart.
Yeah, I'll check into that.
Okay.
That sounds like an awesome idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be a nice conversation.
Yeah.
The three of us.
Mm-hmm. All right, Daisy, I'll be getting a hold of you. You have a good night, all right?
All right. You too, Andrea.
All right, blessings. Bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.
If you like this podcast, please hit subscribe because we have an awesome guest coming up every week and I don't want you to miss out. If you haven't checked it out yet, we do have merch. Link is in the description. Also, don't forget to check out the other podcast with Daisy. I wish you a great week to come and I'll see you next time. Blessings.